Welcome to Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. I am here. Happy Mardi Gras, Carnival, Shrove Tuesday. And speaking of Shrove Tuesday, well, first I want to show you the fit right here. Like I kind of have this carnival thing going on. I wanted to kind of be like swoop swoop. Yeah. So this is kind of like my ode to kind of like a little bit of Carnival here, a little bit of Mardi Gras, and of course I am making pancakes because it is Shrove Tuesday. Well, technically I'm doing waffles because I don't have, like, my pancake maker is really designed just to do one, and I could, you know, do the thing where you do the molds and put it in the scale and all this stuff, but I don't want to do that today. I want to keep it really simple. So speaking of simple, I have got, you know, it's instant. Now I could make these from scratch, but I'm not going to. I'm going to take a cup. I'm going to start off with a cup of this waffle, or, you know, pancake, whatever you want to make it, whatever you want to call it. I feel like it's one of those 3-in-1 things. So that's a cup right here. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 cups here. It's probably going to make, well, how about 1.5 cups? That's good right here. Okay, because anything that I don't use, I will go ahead and put it in the freezer, you know, so I can have it. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like, for me, having like that special occasion waffle where, you know, you've got them, like, you know what, like if I do a waffle every other day, it's kind of like, you know, a cute little treat. Or if I just kind of save them for the weekend, it's kind of like a cute little treat. So here we go. Okay, now I have got my water. Now I don't like to make mine on the thinner side, so I've got like a 1/2 cup of water here. And I just want to see what that looks like. I'm probably going to add just a little bit more, but you know, in the past, you guys have seen it in living color, I should say. You've seen me where I'm like, oh wow, I put too much in, then they're thin and right. So of course I don't have enough, but that's okay because I've got my extra cup of water. So slowly put that in there. Okay, I think I put in about, looks like I put in about 1/4 cup more of the water. Okay, so this is like, okay, this is a little, I feel like this is going to be a little on the thinner side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do that thing, I'm going to risk it, you know, where you're just kind of like chasing it. But I think if I just put another 1/4 cup of the batter in here, I think it'll be okay. Okay, I hope everyone is doing well tonight. We got a lot going on. Let's see here. But you know, in the Kansas City area, we have fall spring going on in the Kansas City area. So, you know, approach it with caution, right? Don't make too many advanced plans because you never know. We could have a snowstorm by the end of the week. You just never know. And again, I'm not trying to compel that at all. Next month is spring. So we are moving towards spring, which is good. But, you know, again, in the Kansas City area, you never know what you're going to get. It could be 90 degrees next month. It could be like 10 degrees. We don't know. I think that is part of the excitement of living here because you just literally never know. Okay, so I put like more of like a 1/4 cup in here, and that was the secret sauce here. Okay, so now I'm going to have this consistency that I want. And then also just, you know, sometimes I'm not always good about it. It just depends on like if I'm in a hurry, but just kind of make sure to really stir this in here. Try to kind of get it off the corners here. And, you know, let's see here. I think I've got I'm looking for my scoop because that is the key for me. You don't have to use a scooper, an ice cream scooper, but I just find when I do that for any kind of baking or batter, anything that requires me to kind of measure things out, the ice cream scooper never lets me down. Now, before I started this video, I went ahead and I put the spray on Big Bertha because, you know, sometimes we have some issues with that. But before I do all that, I'm just going to let her kind of cool, or like heat up, I should say. I'm going to do a teaspoon. And generally don't, you know, when you're measuring something, don't really put it over the batter because it's not that big of a deal if there's a little bit more, you know. But if this had been something else, it might have been dramatic. So again, just kind of be conscious of that. Don't be like Aunt Lainey. Pay attention. Okay, so this is going to be good. It's going to have that vanilla kind of like taste there. It's a sweet vanilla. It's not going to have that tartness of the extracts. It's going to be like, because it's like a Mexican vanilla. It's kind of on the sweeter side generally. Now I have got these flours, and I got to use them up. So let's see here. I want to compel spring. Now I'm going to measure these with my heart. Let's see here. I'm going to measure these with my heart, I think. Okay, so I'm putting this out here just like this. I would say I would say I probably put out about maybe like, I think that's about 1.5 teaspoons. But again, you're measuring these flours with your heart. I just thought it might be, you know, something, since we do have spring weather, spring-like weather, we could kind of do that. Get these in here. Kind of, you know, it's got a nice little texture to add in there. It kind of brings, it compels spring. And, you know, we could use a little spring right about now. Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm done with this. I just want to make sure I've got everything off of here. Now listen, if you want to be super grandma about things, remember this spatula, just for every little inch of whatever you have, because remember what we don't do, we do not waste food if at all possible. So look, right there, I probably added like, you know, a little bit more to a possible waffle. So yeah. Oh, okay. There went that ice cream scooper. Okay, now Big Bertha, she sounds like she's ready. Moving this stuff out of the way, trying to kind of clean as I go with this. I hope everyone is doing great. If you just joined me, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna actually put this down here. Because I think it's easier to see kind of what's going on with Big Bertha if I don't have that big stand in the way. Okay, so you're just joining me. We're doing waffles. The griddle is all ready to go. I added some sweet Mexican vanilla in here. I added probably about, I would say, 1.5 teaspoons of flours, like edible flours, always edible flours. Don't just be putting stuff in here, y'all. They need to be edible, okay? And not just because you saw that online, like actually buy edible flours if you don't know what you're doing, because it's really easy. Because again, I grew up knowing what plants I could eat and which plants I could not eat, but things have changed since then. So I'm very conscious about that. And, you know, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to risk anything, because the things I learned in 1988, when it comes to this stuff and before, things have changed. So you just kind of want to, you know, be conscious of that, because nature is not playing with you when it comes to this stuff. Okay, wow, I added like a lot. I'm probably gonna have a lot in my little reservoir of Big Bertha. Let's see here. I think I got maybe like one. I probably have 2 left. Well, maybe one. I have like maybe 1 left. We'll see. Let's get this all the way off of here. So I took a little break from doing my weekly, you know, I was kind of doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm coming back though. I just kind of had the things I was making, I couldn't do a quick video on it. I'm like, okay, these are not, like, I'm trying to make these videos like 5 minutes under kind of thing. I do have a YouTube channel where you can kind of see the whole things. But for the most part, when you're doing Reels or TikToks, you know, or even the YouTube Shorts, it's like 3 minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes. And then, you know, I think TikTok gives you a little bit longer. But, you know, I want to make sure I'm not going over that time, and then it gets really weird with the algorithm, all that stuff. Yeah, so that's why I was kind of like, you know what, let's just take a break, and then I'm going to be frosting yet another cake. I know you guys are thinking, do you just sit in your house and bake cakes? Well, I do, but generally when I've got a cake, it's because I like had like some birthdays, like some monthly birthdays, so that's what I'm doing for people now. I'm doing like baked goods, or I had an event to attend to, so I do like the little bites for the event, and then I just save like the cake for me. Okay? We have this. Okay, no, this is not, it's not ready yet. Big Bertha's she's still processing. Let me go ahead and bring down a plate for Big Bertha. We're gonna kind of do a stack here. Or actually, you know what? Instead of doing a stack, like you know what? You can see, somebody told me when I watch you, I can watch the wheels of your mind turning, and that is what's happening right now. I'm actually going to get a cutting board, because I'm going to cut the waffles into bits. So into like pieces. So let's see, I think I've got my pizza roller. I do. So I'll kind of cut it like that. And because again, sometimes you just want a little bit of the waffle. Let's say you have to share, like, oof, that's like kind of intense here. Let's say you've got like a lot of people coming over, and you're like, you know what, it'd be better if I just had a couple pieces. Everybody gets like a couple, you know, slices of waffle. You could do like a waffle fondue situation. Let's see here, that looks pretty cooked here. So, see, sometimes I get fooled. Oh, no, Look at this. I've got the side. I think that's really the key because, you know, sometimes I struggle because I'm like, why is this not doing what I think it should do? And it's because I didn't put enough in there. There's not enough batter. It's like, it's a little like on the liquid side. So I'm really glad that hang on. Again, you got to be quick with this, y'all. This is not like a, let me just, because this is kind of like on the hot side. So we just kind of want to move that out of the way. And look, I've got these right here still. And I think last time I did these, I ended up I was able to use these again. Because before I would have just thrown them away and be like, oh, you know, that just didn't make it. But no, I can actually repurpose these and turn them into like a different kind of, like the texture's a little different, but you know, it works. Okay, so I think this is going to be the last of the waffles here from this batter. Yeah, so I think I can just do one here. So let's get that in here. Oh wait, I think I've got a little bit more, but you know what? It's not going to be a lot, but I think what I can do is add this liquid here, just a little bit here. And then I'm going to put this here. So that's what we're doing. I'm just kind of breaking this up because this could be like and again, it's going to be a Frankenstein looking one, but that's okay. We don't judge. Okay, there we go. I got most of this out here. I think my grandmas would be proud that I got most of the batter out. And let's see here. Okay, so now we're just going to cook. Wait for these to cook. And in the meantime, I'm going to kind of cut away because I've got like some little extra things here. You guys can't see that yet. That's okay because we're still cooking. So I'm just kind of like getting this off before I start doing the slicing. So just want to get this extra pieces off. Okay. Well, let's see here. What do we got? Okay, yeah, that's not ready. Okay, that was a little too soon. A little too soon. That's okay. It's probably gonna look a little weird. That's okay. We're not gonna judge it. It's doing the best it can. Hello, Sean. How are you? I've got this headpiece that just keeps sliding down. It keeps sliding down. It's messing with my vision, like literally messing with my vision and the vision of the outfit too. Okay. Got these. Let's see, let's get the rest of this extra stuff off. Okay. Now, something I could do with this, I'm not going to put that back in there because this is kind of like hard and already cooked. This could also be like a nice little scrap thing if I wanted to add it to something. Whoa, this is kind of like, if I wanted to maybe do like a sausage waffle, like a sausage batter, a hash with this. I could chop up some sausages that I have, kind of put it in like a cast iron skillet, do it like that, and now kind of give it like a nice little taste. Okay, that's not quite ready. Not quite ready. That's okay. Try to clean as I go here. Okay. And now, because I'm cleaning as I go, I'm going to go ahead and bring this back. So I can bring this up. I'm going to move these scraps onto something else. And then we'll flip this back up and I'll show you how I'm going to cut this. I was in Lawrence and I cannot remember, and I reviewed this restaurant for my blog. I believe I was still writing it as, I think it was maybe Aunt Lainey's Kitchen I did that for. Maybe I was still doing food reviews for Quaint and Cozy KC. I don't know. But, okay, so this is done. And this is done. So we're going to unplug Big Bertha because it does not have heat settings. Okay, look at what this looks like. Isn't this kind of cool? I kind of like it. It looks like a little honeycomb. Okay. Okay, we'll add that to the scrap pile there. And again, batter scraps. Yes, you'll want to throw them away. It'll be like, oh my gosh, this is not a perfect thing. But I've got some leftover sausages. I could do a little hash with them, and I think that's what I'll do. I think I'm gonna put those away and like hash a little bit. Okay, this is still kind of hot. Okay, so I have got my pizza roller. But anyways, I'm gonna finish that story. So I went and they had some kind of deconstructed like waffle thing. It was so good, and then they had like berry syrup and all kinds of things to like dip them in. It was really cool. It was kind of like a deconstructed dessert. See how small these pieces are right here? But sometimes you don't want a full waffle. Sometimes you just want a couple of bites. I think we're kind of moving into, with everybody kind of, you know, really looking at like what they're eating, all that stuff. I think we're moving into like portion control. I think we're moving into this time where we're, you know, bites are gonna make a comeback. Like it's not just, bites are not just for toddlers anymore, you know? The small kind of like, it's gonna be, I don't know. That's just like my unofficial prediction. Now I don't have any fruits that I can turn it into a compote or anything, because let me tell you something. I went to the store and those fruits, I was like, you want how much? For what? Y'all, for real. I'm like, am I in the beginning of a parable or something that I don't know about? Like, is there a life lesson? Hello, Miss Tammy. Is there a life lesson associated with the prices of this fruit? Because what the heck? So I don't have any fruit, but I could, if I wanted to do something. I've got the sweet vanilla. I could do a sweet vanilla sauce. I also have dark chocolate, and I have, what's up, Miss Raquel? I also have dark chocolate. I could do that into a fondue thing. So here we go. So I've got these things. Like, I have to put my arm up there. Okay, so like around this size, I could put a little whipped cream in here. Then I could get another one and put a little chocolate in here. And then, girl, I saw something at a discount store and it was like $6. Those strawberries were not worth $6, okay? They just were not. They were not magical. I was not going to, you know, eat those strawberries, and a beanstalk was not going to appear outside my house. It was wild. I was like, you know what? That's okay. I think I'll do another kind of live on how to make these simple sauces without some of the fruit. Now you can still, apples have always been, in my experience, been pretty moderately priced or pretty cheap. So you can kind of start going, I always think of apples and pears and peaches as being like grandma fruits, because a lot of my grandma would be like, my dad's mom would be like doing baked pears and stuff, and like, you know, making some like pear cider, like all that stuff. Cause you know, it was on the cheaper side. Berries are a little bit more, you know, expensive, but yeah, like I was like, well, there's not going to be a compote here. Nope. But also I can use the dark chocolate. I've got whipped cream. Let's see what else. I could also do it with, I've got applesauce. Now, I'm not going to do that because because I use my applesauce for something else. But in a pinch, if you had someone that was like, man, I just kind of want more of a fruit dip, you could use the applesauce. Also, if you've got pudding, you could dip them in pudding as well. You could throw some, usually I put allspice in here, but because I was going to be dipping with other things, I was like, but you could coat these with allspice, cinnamon, but you got to be careful because some people are allergic to cinnamon. Like there's all kinds of things you could do. Maybe you even dip them into some powdered sugar if you wanted to do that thing right there. There's a lot of things you can do to kind of not have to deal with the berries. Okay, and then also I know people use frozen berries, but I think those aren't like those are kind of on the more expensive side as well. So again, I don't know what your budget is, but yeah, that was like, I'm like, that's a no-go for me. So I've got this whole kind of see, there's lots of things you can do with this. Now you can put this, I'm just going to use a small little plate here. So this is really good for like maybe a game night. Now I'm somebody that I want my own individual plate. Okay, I don't want to have a game night and I gotta like eat off the same plate as someone else, because I just want my own. I'm like, I just want my own. But you could stack these up. You're on a budget for game night. You don't have a lot of money for dessert, because let me tell you something. Some of these pre-packaged, what do you call it? Pre-packaged snack cakes. I was like, what? So yeah. And if you don't have enough time to bake anything, or it's hot outside, you don't want to deal with baking, there's a lot of things. Or you don't have any eggs, because remember, when you bake, a lot of times you got to use those eggs. If you're doing like an instant thing here, like I just did like an instant batter situation. You don't have to do that. You've got a plate full right here of some things, and you can just offer people like their option of dipping sauces, a little bit of whipped cream, like all that stuff. So this is this could be like your game night dessert right here. If you don't have a ton of money to spend, you shouldn't let that kind of stop you from, you know, getting together and gathering when, you know, you can make things pretty affordable. Now, if you've got more questions about me, you can go to Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. Let me just take off my gloves here. You can go to AuntLainey'sKitchen.com. That's my website. And then you can also go to TikTok. I'm on Aunt Lainey's Kitchen there, YouTube. And Instagram, and Facebook under Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. And of course, you can listen to my podcast anytime on Spotify or Apple Music or iHeart, or I guess basically wherever you listen to podcasts, I think for the most part. So that's what I got this week, you guys. It's kind of like I'm noticing, like it's a little bit of a shorter cooking show, but I just kind of wanted to do something really simple because I am also, doing the shorter videos as well. And then I was thinking, I'm trying to think, maybe I should do in the future some kind of show about doing like these quick little marinades that you can kind of throw together. One of my friends said, you can come up with a recipe so quick. I'm like, you know what? That is a talent. I know a lot of people are really good slow cooks. I am not the best slow cook, okay? I've got friends that are slow roasting. They're doing all kinds of things. I can do those things, but that's not something that comes natural to me. Like I really have to plan it out and think about it and whatever. But throwing together the quick plates, throwing together the lunches, the quick breakfast, anything that's quick and on the fly, that I am your person right here. And I credit the Methodist Ladies Aid training that I received growing up. I can throw a casserole together with 2 or 3 ingredients in an hour. It's done, ready to go on the distribution line. Okay, on that note, take care everyone. Talk to you soon.